Hello and welcome to this mindfulness video on behalf of the Stuart Low Trust. My name is Katie and thank you for joining me today. So today I'm going to kind of go back to basics of mindfulness. You may have seen my Mindfulness for Beginners series of videos. If not, you can find them on my YouTube channel, which is Kate Relax Mindfulness. But we are going to be going over briefly what mindfulness is today and talking about how breathing fits into that and is a very helpful way of practicing mindfulness. So mindfulness, just as a reminder, is about being in the present moment without judgment. Or to put it another way, mindfulness is the aware, balanced acceptance of the present moment. It isn't any more complicated than that. It is opening to or receiving the present moment, pleasant or unpleasant, just as it is, without either clinging to it or rejecting it. And that was a quote by a lady called Sylvia Boorstein, which I think sums up nicely what mindfulness is. And just once again, some of the benefits of mindfulness, there are a lot, can include feeling calmer, and all the benefits that feeling calmer and reducing our stress can entail, such as sleeping better, improving our physical health, things like reducing pain. It can improve our concentration, it can improve our relationships, it can help us to develop more compassion and patience with ourselves and other people. And it can actually help us to feel more connected with the world around us, because mindfulness is about noticing. So we notice and then we feel more connected. And one of the beauties of mindfulness is that you can practice it informally or formally. So today we'll be focusing more on the formal practice together. We'll be doing that a little bit later. But one of the things about mindfulness, as I say, is you can practice it informally as well. So you can bring those qualities of awareness, non-judgmental, being in the present moment to pretty much anything that you're doing. And we'll come on to that more in other videos, kind of bringing it into your daily life. And mindfulness isn't, just a quick note about what mindfulness isn't, it's not a cure or a quick fix for anything. It isn't about hiding from reality. It is actually about engaging more with reality. And it isn't really about being relaxed, although that is quite a pleasant side effect sometimes from being mindful. It is basically a way of being that is aware and compassionate. So as I said, we're going to be talking about breathing today. We're going to be breathing together. Hopefully, if you're watching this, you're already breathing. So breathing, focusing on our breathing is one of the most common ways that you'll find that people practice mindfulness. And there are several reasons for this. The first is that you can breathe anywhere. You can't leave home without it, as John Kabat-Zinn once said. So you can practice it anywhere, and it's kind of non-intrusive. If you do it on the bus, then nobody knows that you're focusing on your breathing. And also it's very simple, and also your breathing can be quite a very helpful barometer of your mood. So it really reflects the way that you're feeling, and sometimes the sooner that we notice our mood changes, the more we can do to kind of change that if we want to. So breathing can really help us to connect more with our feelings and our body and the present moment. Because you can't breathe yesterday or tomorrow, your breath will help you to come back to the present moment. And it also, something that human beings tend to respond to is rhythm. It's kind of in our DNA, we respond to heartbeat and music, and obviously our breath is a rhythm. So getting into that, focusing on that rhythm can be very soothing. So that's kind of why breathing is so important in mindfulness. And also, as I mentioned, it can be a barometer of our mood. If we want to feel calmer, it can be a very helpful way of helping us to do that. So it's actually the first thing that changes when our mood changes. So you may notice that when you feel stressed or anxious, your breathing becomes faster and more shallow. And you notice this if we see something that shocks us, so something that we're scared of. Say if you see a spider or something, you're scared of spiders, then we tend to gasp and hold our breath, and our breath becomes very fast. And of course that is part of the fight or flight response, if you've heard of that, to prepare us to fight whatever we're afraid of, or to run away from it. So it's a very helpful response, but not so helpful when we can't do either of those things, which is true of a lot of our stress today. So by focusing on our breathing, we can actually consciously slow our breathing down. And it can be like the reverse of having maybe a panic attack, which is slow, deep breathing. And breathing more using our stomach than our chest. So the breathing becomes lower down. So we're using the whole of our lungs. And breathing is actually, I think, the only automatic function that we can control to a certain extent, if we choose to. So, you know, if you don't control your breathing, you will still breathe, which is a good job, because, you know, we would become distracted if it was up to us. You know, we might stop breathing. So, you know, our breathing is happening, and it's happening fine already. But it can help to reduce stress and anxiety if we notice our breathing, and then kind of gently slow it down. And again, as with anything in mindfulness, this isn't about forcing anything or trying too hard to make things right or to change. Before you change anything, you need to notice how things are. So that's the essence of mindfulness, to do things gently. As Thich Nhat Hanh, who is a Vietnamese mindfulness guru, really, he's a monk, a Buddhist monk. He said, "Feelings come and go like clouds on a windy sky. Conscious breathing is my anchor." So breathing is like it's a kind of grounding tool, and it can really bring us back to the present moment, and to kind of help us to let go of all the thoughts and distractions that can be quite overwhelming at times. The most natural and efficient way to breathe is actually by using your stomach, so your stomach moves, kind of diaphragmatic breathing. And again, we can practice this with mindfully. I've got another couple of quotes that I like regarding breathing. And this is about not forcing anything, this first quote. And it says, "The breath must be enticed or cajoled, like catching a horse in a field, not by chasing after it, but by standing still with an apple in one's hand." And that was written by someone called BKS Iyengar. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So this is about letting go and just breathing with what's happening. So breathing with whatever feelings come and go. And also just when you breathe out, it's a form of letting go in itself. And also there's a little poem that I'd like to read to you by Chade Meng, who is a Taoist poet. And they said, "A lifetime is not what is between the moments of birth and death. A lifetime is one moment between my two little breaths. The present, the here, the now. That's all the life I get. I live each moment in full, in kindness, in peace, without regret." So I think we'll do some breathing together now. And again, just to emphasize with mindfulness, just to accept as best you can the reality of each given moment, accept your feelings and your breathing and whatever comes and goes from moment to moment. So I'm going to ask you to get yourself as comfortable as possible. And if you want to, you can allow your eyes to close. Or if you prefer, you can just lower your gaze to the floor. And when you're ready, just allowing your awareness to just naturally rest on your breathing. However you're breathing right now, just noticing that. Noticing where you notice your breath right now. As it naturally and effortlessly comes and goes. And maybe you notice the gentle rise and fall of your stomach and chest. Rising gently as you breathe in, falling gently as you breathe out. That natural ebb and flow of your breathing. Or maybe you can notice the feeling of your breath at your nostrils. The feeling of the cooler air being breathed in and the warmer air being breathed out. And you will notice that your mind wanders. You might be distracted about thoughts, the future or the past, feelings, sounds, and just noticing whatever comes and goes. Allowing those distractions to fade into the background once more. And bringing your mind, your awareness gently back to the natural, gentle rhythm of your breathing. Just focusing on this breath, this moment, this breath, and this moment. And if you want to focus more on deep breathing, using the whole of your lungs so that your stomach moves more than your chest when you breathe, you can just gently place one hand below your navel on your abdomen, and without forcing anything or trying, just gently focusing on breathing into your hand. Just knowing that this is the most relaxed way to breathe. And just noticing any thoughts or judgments that you might have about doing this right, and then letting those go. Bringing your awareness back to the experience of each breath as it is in this moment. And each time your mind wanders, noticing where it took you, letting it go, and bringing your awareness gently back to your breathing, to this breath and this moment, allowing everything else to fade into the background. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. Breathing in, my breath grows deep. Breathing out, my breath grows slow. Aware of my body, I breathe in. Relaxing my body, I breathe out. Calming my body, I breathe in. Caring for my body, I breathe out. Smiling to my body, I breathe in. Easing my body, I breathe out. Dwelling in the present moment, I breathe in. Enjoying the present moment, I breathe out. And just taking your time, you can gently open your eyes. You can have a stretch if you want to. And taking a few moments just to sit or lie quietly. So I hope you've enjoyed practicing with me today and just thinking a little bit more about breathing and breathing with me. Join me again next time. Please feel free to leave me a comment or a suggestion on my YouTube channel. I would recommend, if you want to experience some of the benefits of mindfulness, practicing once a day if you can, either formally or informally. And you can try, well, don't try, you can use the meditation that we did today, the breathing meditation, as a starting point. Even if it's just for a few minutes, it kind of plants those seeds of mindfulness that then we can then water and grow. So I would encourage you to do that. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please check out the Stuart Low Trust website, slt.org.uk, which is regularly updated, and you can ask to be put on the newsletter list, and you'll be kept up to date with all the latest happenings. I wish everyone well, and thanks once again for joining me today. Thank you.